This is technically a work in progress, is what it would be called in comedy terms. I've not billed it as that for two reasons. One, I am a work in progress. That does not need to be said. I'm a lot of things, but ready is never one of them. And also because in the context of a show, if you say it's a work in progress, people are going to think it's probably going to be a bit shit. So that's not what I'm doing. So I've been working on. I'll tell you why I'm here. So I've been before lockdown kicked in. I was going through quite a cocky stage of my life because I felt I actually liked what I looked like for the first time, and I'd stopped doing drugs and I'd stopped drinking. And I met my girlfriend. I was doing panto in Norwich, and it was lovely. It was really good, nice. And I was going through this plateau. I didn't hate me for the first time. I felt like it was like the first time that I'd ever found hope, and it was great. And I was asked to go and do a talk at a mental health sort of ceremony sort of thing. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that, that's fine. So I wrote about a 20-minute show, and I went and I did it, and it was good. And then the world went upside down, and everything changed, and I'm still not dead, which is great. And so you're not either, which is good. Yay, thank you for that. I appreciate that. That is something that I did ages ago. And I've been working on it again, and I'm going to do it again, and I want to do it again. I've put an awful lot of work into doing what I would be doing today. But today is not a good one. But listen, I only ever take one test every day, and it's me. And some days I don't pass, but I always turn up. I'm doing this twice today. Hopefully, later on, I might be able to do what I'd planned. But what I'm going to do now is just talk to you for this period of time. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Amazing. So, because also, normally people do shows and they have directors and, other opinions and stuff like, not me. No, I was like, yeah, this will be fine. Sell 100 tickets. I don't care. Oh. So, what happened when I first... you might know me because I'm mental, but I've been like that for a really, really long time. And I told you about panto. I'll tell you about that. So, this is my ukulele. His name is Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Fantastic, brilliant. Right, he's inanimate, but I love that. I love that you walked into it. Names are really important because you only name things that matter. So I have got a lot of ukuleles. I've got Steve, I've got Dave, I've got Pablo, I've got Jim, and I've got Sharon. Yeah, everybody hates Sharon. She's horrible. Yeah. So I've been sort of trying to force mental health awareness into pantomime for about 5 years now. And like last year I did Dick Whittington and I played the cat. And I gave him generalised anxiety this year. because he died 8 times and only had 1 life left. And, the first year that I did this, I was playing Buttons. And Buttons is great because he's just the friend zone with legs and a face. And my girlfriend Holly, she's amazing. She was in the show with me, and she used to stand at the side of the stage listening to me sing my song about Steve. I thought that she was just that's where she was at that point in the show. Apparently, she didn't do anything for about 10 minutes. I liked the fact that she was there until one day I noticed that she hadn't made it to the wings, and I felt sad. And I realised that maybe I liked her a little bit more than just the person that was in the wings. So this is my song that I sing with Steve. I hope you don't hate it.
Easy.
That was exciting. That's as high as I get nowadays. Thank you. Oh, it's nice to be with other people. Thank you. Some kids have iPhones, some kids have pets, but a phone's too large and it needs to charge and you have to take pets to the vets. But I'm quite different. You see, what I've got never needs feeding or gets too hot, it's always with me. Even if I'm having a wee, I bought it for a £5 on Gumtree. Everybody's jealous of me and my ukulele called Steve. Yeah, me and Steve is all I need. Yeah, me and my ukulele don't like sports, they're always picked last. I don't like wearing shorts on tennis courts, and other boys are a pain in the arse. They're not in a hurry, just a little bit chubby, because I brought a note from Mummy saying that my tummy feels funny. It's made my pool a bit runny, which gives me a really sore bummy. A bummy's where it's ever sunny. Anyway, I'll tell you about my ukulele called Steve. Yeah, me and Steve is all I need. Yeah, me and my ukulele when I'm lonely, and that's a lot. My ukulele helps me think about what I've got. I've got a home, I've got a mum, I've not got a girlfriend. I just hope I'll cope with being on my own. Because when you're lonely, next time you're sad, just look around you. You might find things are not that bad if you've got a friend, if you've got a family, if you've just got you, then just be you. And you won't need a ukulele, you don't need a ukulele. I don't need a ukulele, 'cause I've got me. You're an audience, and that's fine. I like audiences. I don't like groups of people. They are very different things. You can get lost in a group of people, but in an audience, you're not on your own, and I love that. And it's why I felt safe to come today. So thank you for being here. When I first met Holly, just before, God knows, hello. Hi, sorry, I just realised you might have anxiety. I didn't mean to draw attention to you, so sorry. Hello, thank you for coming. When I went up to Hull, and I met a family for the first time, it was lovely. And I ended up being there for 4 months, which is a lot. I spent more time with their family than I did with mine. I don't know where I would have been. If I definitely wouldn't have been at Hull, put it that way. And I need to slow down. Yeah. Oh, this is really hard.
You got it.
Yeah, no, right. It's so weird. It's nice. It's quite freeing to just be able to sit here and go, oh, God, I feel like shit. Because it's much more frequent than usual nowadays. Okay. Right, I know what I'm going to do. The last time that I had hope, it was. I'm going to have to stop for a minute, everybody. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry. We're with you.
I ain't going to go anywhere. It's not going to be better over there on my own. I just wanted to let you know that I'm stopping for a second.
We've got you.
Thanks, B. I love Brona. She's amazing. I was about to say you've come down from Ireland, but you haven't. You're in your 30s and you don't live there anymore. It's just an accent.
We've got you, babe. Just take your time.
Thanks. How are you? Are you well?
Thanks.
Thanks.
I have childcare issues, but I'm sure everybody else has.
That's fine. I can barely look after myself. But still.
He's getting COVID.
Yeah.
So annoying. But also stay away.
Fair point. Right. Okay. Right, no, I'll tell you what, I am going to stop for 10 minutes. Is that all right? Because I need to get my head together.
Of course you can.
That's very, thank you, nice man, that's lovely.
Maybe if I open the doors and people can come in and out, and then when you're ready...
Yeah, is that all right? Let's do that. I can't feel my skin. You're all brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're all right. I'll live. Thank you. Yeah, right. I wasn't joking. You can talk. Thank you. I like answering questions. So if you've got a question for me, you can ask me in like 2 minutes when I ask you about them. This is the most people I've ever had to ask for help from.
Oh.
What that I could see. It's all very well doing it to the back of an iPhone on a golf course. But so that was so weird because every bit of me was screaming, "You got to keep going," which I have got to keep going. But it doesn't mean that I haven't got to tell you that it was hard. Everything's so hard. I can't function and like just things. I don't know how anybody is functioning at the moment because I feel like I'm going mental. I do. Like mornings on ITV are they're more emotionally unstable than I am. Because Susanna sits there with whoever's next to her, I like that. And like people are coming in and they're just lying and like we all know, and Susanna is not smiling. She's lovely, but she does not smile. I would not be smiling at that because it's like, like the fact this is a wound of an island is they're angry because we've not died quick enough. Which is mental. And then the rain kicks in. I love the rain. Yeah. But she's like, that is the same, because she still talks about serious stuff, but there's two differences, because she is smiling, and at some point they're going to cut away to Ross King, who's going to talk about some celebrity cats. So that's quite a big jump from not smiling, we're all going to die, to smiling celebrity cats. And then by the time we get to this morning at midday, I'm like, I'm making it up, I'm the only one. Phil and Holly have just done a 20-minute interview with the parents of a child that had a dump in B&Q. It's not the end of the world. And then my day starts. Yes, Brona.
I just going on from what you said, Joe.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone who works in the NHS last week, who works in mental health. And she was saying that, like, because of what we've been through with the pandemic, she's like, no one's had a chance to like process like the entire world, but here obviously especially because we were so badly affected, it's like no one's had a chance to actually take a beat and a minute, and that is like imploding on our brains and like burning us out, and it's making decisions about Starbucks or Pret, like the smallest things become huge. So like what you're saying, I think every person in this room can relate to, and what I just said to Holly, I think is so amazing, is that you like advocated for yourself, and you like that takes massive balls and like huge just strength to be able to go, do you know what, I need to take a beat, like because every single person here is like, yeah, get it, like we're cool. And actually I feel more relaxed now.
That's lovely, thank you very much. Thank you.
I work in HR and I was in the NHS during the pandemic.
Right.
And your videos, which I watched with my daughter, we talked about that earlier, made me realise that every single person had their own journey through COVID, and they weren't always okay. They might be smiling, they weren't dancing in leotards generally.
There were a few of us,
aware of how they were doing, and actually psychologically, 6 months of that is severe trauma. We did 2 years nearly, and everything that went with that, and now we're still not able to kind of come out of it properly because money worries and all the rest of it. So don't underestimate how everybody else is suffering too.
That's lovely.
But how important your videos and things were in saying to people it's okay to not do it.
Thank you. What was your name?
Claire.
Thank you, Claire. I appreciate that. Because I didn't want to be alive in the old world. That's like, I was fine, but I'd sort of dealt with it to a point. And I'd just gone, you know what? Brilliant. Death might not be the best thing. And then we were queuing up to get to Morrison's. And also, in all of the years that I have been me, and there's been a few of them, I've tried so many different ways of trying to sort myself out. And the only one that I've found works is to talk about problems. Yeah. But we're on an island where nobody's doing that. We've got like 567 awareness days for 365 days a year, and none of them have been making us aware of the fact that we're all fucked. Thank you for being as understanding as you were then. I really, really do appreciate it. It's it leaves me in a weird position now because obviously I make jokes about really serious things, and I do that for a reason, because it's just how I cope. It's how I function with that. So right, well, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. You're all brilliant. I'm so pleased you're here. Bloody hell. I've written a thing about why I make jokes about my brain, and when I get to the end of it, I might feel like I can do something else, which would be nice. Right, let me find it. Hang on. Sit down. There you go. Right. So, 10 years ago, I tried to kill myself, and 9 years ago, I started making jokes about it. Mental illness is painful and intimate and heartbreaking, but it's also funny, boring, and disgusting. The flashy, dramatic aspects of mental illness tend to get more airtime than the mundane, which is understandable, but it's also dangerously misleading. People who are mentally ill will never understand those of us who are if you don't try to explain how we live. But I've found that, unfortunately, people don't really want to hear about the worst parts of mental illness because society hasn't provided us with a way of talking about things that we don't understand. So we just try to ignore them and pretend that they're not happening. People are very, very supportive of me having a mental illness until I start exhibiting symptoms of one. then about 30% help and the rest bugger off without saying bye because they don't have a way to help. I can't be angry at the world for not understanding me if I have not made an effort to explain. In my experience, the best way to tell somebody something difficult is to make them laugh 2 seconds before you tell them the thing. Because when you laugh, you relax. And then you trust the person that just made you feel good, and you want to listen to what that person has to say, because they might, make you feel good again. I understand why people are hesitant to laugh about stuff like this, but it depends on who's telling the joke. I'm allowed to make jokes about being suicidal because I am, and you're allowed to laugh at them because I'm the one telling you. I'm laughing at it, and you're laughing with me. All jokes about taboo things are acceptable if they're being made by somebody that has first-person experience of that thing. Joking about my broken brain is my way of controlling it, a way of taking responsibility for something that I did not pick, and society forces me to feel on my own. I started joking about things that hurt when I was 7. I was bullied horrifically at school, and I realised that if I made fun of myself first, then that took the power out of their insults. They still beat me up, but now I've made a career out of it, and they're still parts out of that. This isn't a weakness, and next time you hear somebody making a joke about their worst bits, please laugh, because they're probably telling it because they're sick of thinking about it on their own. And so that's why I kind of do what I do. So I'm hopeless. That's how I feel now. I'm sort of on the arse end of what we were talking about there, is that I do feel hopeless, which is honest.
Yes.
But hopeless doesn't mean no hope. You've only got no hope when you're dead, you're not. It means less hope, and I've got less hope than I had in the past. But it's not gone. If something's gone, you've got to mourn it. But if something's lost, you can look for it. And if you lose anything, the first place that you look is the last place that you had it. And the last place that I had hope was the mental health show that I did in Norwich. So I'm just going to find that and I'm going to read that to you. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Right, good. Yeah, appreciate that. Okay, so, where is it? There you go. Yeah. It's not long, by the way, don't panic. It's not. You might panic, it's up to you. If you do, you're in the right room for it. By the way, so again, I kind of have to talk about suicide and stuff like that. So obviously I make jokes about it. The first time that I sort of went to go to take my own life, I was struggling to do it because I didn't know how to tie the right knot. And so I was sat there, I was on YouTube, and I found a video, it was about 90 seconds long, and it was perfect for, it sort of had the things, and it was very matter of fact. But the thing, as soon as I pushed play, they put this on it. Hang on. Benny Hill music, isn't it? You can't not laugh at the Benny Hill music. All bad news should be delivered with the Benny Hill music. I'm leaving you. Right. Oh, this is still act. Yeah. By the way, I wrote a book called 10 Things I Hate. Thank you very much. That was a very bad idea. I should not be the person in charge of writing a book about me. That is like asking a chicken to open up KFC. It's not in my best interest. But it was very, very nice, and people bought it, and people say nice things to me because of it. But I wrote this a long time before I knew that was going to be an option. And this is still very, very true now. So, I'm nervous. Something that I'm learning as I get older is that there's only one thing in my life that I can control, and it's not me. I know me, I know how I feel, I can't control how I feel. The only thing that I can control is whether or not I tell you. So I just told you, I'm nervous. I'm still feeling it, but now I don't have to feel it on my own. So I've had BPD for as long as I can remember. I just didn't know what it was. My earliest memory is feeling unremarkable. I only had one hobby/reason to be alive when I was a child, and that was being a magician. And magic is a remarkable thing to be able to do. And nobody learns how to do something remarkable if they feel it in the first place. When I was 10, I learned how to do a rope trick. I did not show anybody this rope trick for about 8 years. Right. I learned it alone. It was on the smallest, most depressing university in the world. One year, showing people that rope trick, it went down well. Lots of people liked the rope trick. In 2003, at 15 years old, I won the British Championships. I was the youngest magician to ever star in a show at the Magic Circle, and Ken Dodd gave me an award for being funny. So I had awards, and I had the best rope trick in the country. You know what I didn't have? Friends. Oh. I appreciate. Thank you very much. It ends well. It's not a problem. I wish that I'd spent my childhood learning how to talk to people, or going to a disco and fingering somebody on a bench. But no, I didn't know. It was a rope trick. There are no uses for rope tricks in life. Again, I've had it for my whole life, but I couldn't see it because I can hear my brain. I can't see it. And mental health problems are tough and scary and invisible. And if I'm going to tell somebody about something they don't understand, then they have a choice. Either accept that it's there because other people that know about it are talking about it a lot, so trust them, listen to them, and learn from them, or be a dick. No, can't see it, not real. Prove it. Well, all right, but nobody picks thinking about killing themselves. And if somebody in the being a dick category did start thinking about killing themselves, I'm pretty sure they consider that to be a real problem. I'm not saying that I don't understand that thought process, because I really do. But how do you believe in something you can't see and don't understand? I get it. Nobody's having a row about air, though. I can't see air. I don't know anything about air, but I know that it's real. I'm sure the people have tried to explain air to me in the past, but I didn't pay attention because I don't care. Am I dead? No. If I don't listen, will it affect me or the people around me? No. Great, carry on, don't care. But I know that air's everywhere because enough people are talking about it. For my whole life, I have heard people talk about air so much to accept air is a thing, even though I can't see it. I'm comfortable trusting somebody that knows what they're on about to accept that air is a fact. You know what I'm not doing? Kicking off at Professor Brian Cox on Twitter, telling him that his whiny opinions are just a series of a rich tapestry of desperate, unsubstantiated air lies picked so it didn't happen. He knows I don't. So BPD has got 9 textbook symptoms written down. They're very, very vague. And I am going to tell you what they are. Right, music, that's So stigma grows around the worst things that people feel. So I'm going to kick that in the face for the first one, which is I'm suicidal, self-harm. Now, there should be no stigma around suicide. I first learnt about suicide playing Hangman, which is a children's game. Yeah, where you slowly draw a man killing himself if your mate can't read your mind. Magic doesn't help there either. But the only thing that keeps me alive is telling somebody else that I'm thinking about it, because I thought it's not a thing. Another symptom is chronic feelings of emptiness. I am chocolate Santa, is what I've written. Right, yeah. You know that because it's got the tin foil, and then you unwrap it and it's empty and looks like a cup. Symptom 3, unclear shifting self-image. I lost 3 stone and still think I look like a weeble. That's yeah. Right. Do you know weebles? You know what weebles are? They were like, it was an old toy which was basically just a heavy ball with a face, and it had a song. And it said "Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down." And then you pushed it, and then it hits the floor, and it pops back up. But as my mum pointed out, that is not a negative thing, because even if you don't like how you look, having the ability to wobble, fall down, and come back up again is something to be proud of. Thank you, that's nice, you'll appreciate that. Right, the next one is, as a man, a relatively prominent issue with that is erectile dysfunction. Oh, I did it, I wrote a song for it. Okay. Oh God, it's a wrap. If you're out with the lads and they're dishing out banter, there's a reason that Boots have started selling Viagra, and it's definitely not because there's nobody else out there that's struggling to get an erection. Second page, come on. So if you're scared of rejection because you hate your reflection and your willy isn't going in the right direction, we're all going to die soon from that viral infection, and the only thing that's getting fucked are all our elections, so don't worry if you can't get it up.
Yay!
When they brought Viagra out in Boots, I didn't know how to feel, because obviously I wasn't proud of it as a thing, but if you have to fill in a form. they make you fill in a form, so I waited, because obviously it's a fortune if you get it online, but I don't even know what the time is. Have you been here for ages? Sorry, so basically, I waited for ages. I asked a woman for Viagra, and she said, no, you've got to fill in a form, and I died inside. I'm not going to tell it again. Right, unstable relationships. I said sorry to my family, but I've done exactly the same things again 87,000 times. Symptom 5, extreme emotional swings. I say stuff like, I love you, also I'm leaving you. No, wait, come back, I can't believe you let me. Are you hungry? Symptom 6, impulsive behaviours. I flew to New York, and instead of going to work, I didn't even take pants, and the only thing I bought when I landed was a guitar. Explosive anger. I threw in a Claire at a taxi. Feeling irrationally suspicious, paranoid, or out of touch with reality. I'm scared of Asda, and that is very, very true. Number 9, fear of abandonment. Anybody that ever goes anywhere isn't going to come back because they hate me. That is one of the more prominent things that I feel all the time, and I will unpack that for you now. When I first got together with Holly, she went to the shops. And if you look through the window where we were living, I can see the shop. But when the door shut behind me, my brain started doing this. She went for a carrot and hummus. I knew she went for a carrot and hummus. She told me. This is what I called him Mick upstairs. This is what Mick said. She doesn't love you. That's it. She's never coming back. You're not enough. She hates you. Of course she hates you. Everybody hates you. Because the only reason that you've got anybody left is because you're there. She's not left. The only reason she's not left you already is because she's scared that if she does, you'll kill yourself for attention. Attention you're not going to get because you'll be dead. Arsehole. Is that a fly over there? No, it's a spider. Of course it is a spider. It's got wings, you quiche. You're worthless. Kill yourself. Shit, if that's actually a fly, then you might have mice. Did you leave that banana out? You're not enough for her. She's ashamed to be around you. No, that's too big for a fly. Maybe it's a bee. Might be a bee. She's still on the phone to her ex. She's not even in the shop. She's just hiding behind a bin telling you how much she wishes she was with him and not with you because you're disgusted. Can't be a bee. Of course it's not a bee, you flange. Kill yourself. Why are bees' knees good? I'm not contesting it, but I've never actually seen a bee's knees. So if out of all of the knees, a bee's knees are her best knees, I need to see at least one pair of bee's knees. Not even a pair, I just need to see one. I need to see a minimum of one bee knee as a frame of reference. Without knowledge of what a bee knee looks like, I am not in a position to use bee's knees as a benchmark on where to set the bar on knee quality. Anyway, where else? Oh yeah, you're going to die alone. Now, The last thing that I hate, and I always have done, is me. I have started to cope with that in a new way, because hating me is a symptom of all of the other symptoms. If I did not have all of the other symptoms, I think I would probably be quite boring and fine. But I do have them. So even though they're the 9 symptoms of BPD, I also think they are the 9 symptoms of life. I'm going to get some schmaltzy music. It's too emotional. And this, no, that's...
You did that deliberately.
There we go. Hang on, I'll find it. I'll find it. Thank you for waiting.
It's brilliant.
Oh my God, what are you doing? Come on. Where are you? Oh my God, what's happening? There, yes. So, we all feel alone sometimes. We all worry about our relationships, and we don't like what we look like some days. And we can't see what some people can and others. We go to sleep worrying if somebody's left, and we wake up sad if somebody hasn't come back. I don't know about you, but you know, I think we've all had days where we wake up and think, I can't do this one today. But it's life. We only get one. So, in an effort to make my childhood worth something, so life has got a beginning, a middle, and an end. Hopefully, especially for me, it won't get cut short, because if it does, we don't get another go. If there's one thing I have every year, it's a birthday, and the more of them, the more funerals I've got to go to. I will get a funeral as well, I just won't go to that. But I find it kind of weird that the bits that we all focus on are the bits that we've all definitely got. Because while we're focusing on the beginning and the end, we miss the bit that matters. We miss the bits that sounds. We miss the middle. And obviously life is not that smooth because, you know, life has got... Life's got knots, and you just keep tying it together so it breaks them. When I feel how I feel separate. I feel less than everybody else. When really, I'm exactly the same. If there's one thing I've learned over the past couple of years, that is that I should be very, very proud of when I do feel okay.
Yes.
But on the other hand, I also shouldn't be ashamed of when I am not. You have been incredibly lovely and patient with me. Thank you for that. I really, really appreciate it. Again, right, this I don't know, a couple of years ago, I would have gone and seriously hurt myself tonight, which I'm not going to do, because you stayed, which is just, like, amazing. There is no, every day is like my worst days before, nowadays, and thank you very much for genuinely show me that it was all right to feel like this. that was so nice. I mean, it was awful. Felt like I was going to die. But I really, really appreciate it that you all were so. I was going to say hung about, but that'd be a poor choice of words. Listen. One thing I have done is that I've written a new song, and I've never sung it for people, and I am going to sing it for you. I come from a long line of Joes. My dad was called Joe, my granddad was called Joe, My granddad's granddad was called Joe. My granddad genuinely had a parrot called Jojo. Oh, it's funny actually, Jojo, because when Jojo lived with Granddad, the only noise Granddad used to make was he used to fart and then apologise. Granddad's been dead for about 10 years, but Mum's got that parrot, so every now and then my dead Granddad goes, pardon. It's great. But it's quite difficult when you've got a family full of Joes and you're referred to as the little one, because there's always a bigger one. The first time I went to rehab, the last thing that we had to do was write a letter to our 8-year-old self. I remember the letter, and it said, "Dear little Joe, you're going to be okay." And when I found that, I was like, "That's not the message to send 8-year-old Joe. I've got no good news for that child." So, also, I was paranoid as a child. I thought Tommy Lee Jones lived in the Batman poster on my wall. So I would not have coped well with future me popping up. I'm like, "Hey buddy, guess what's coming up?" So, yeah, thank you for being so lovely. This is, my song for me. Dear little Joe, I'm future Joe. There are things you need to know. Don't be scared, I'm here to tell you what they are. No, please don't scream, little Joe. Promise I'll leave you alone. Put down your rope, you're gonna want to make some notes. You'll try too hard at some stuff and not hard enough for others. You don't need your appendix anyway. I made up a stomachache and made them take my appendix out. Yes. Yeah, Mum still won't accept that it actually happened, but it did. Keep saying please and thank you, and you're welcome, and tell people that you love them. Fight for stuff, say no to things that you don't want. Keep being a nice person, lots of people aren't nice people. You get back from the world what you give out, so try not to be a twat. Then as you grow up, little Joe, you'll feel really... Oh, no, change that. Then as you grow... no, can't remember it. Hang on. Try not to be a twat. Good place to pick up from. Then as you grow up, little Joe, you'll very rarely feel up. You'll cry when you read magazines. Stop searching for... what? See? It's going well.
Yeah, it was.
Please don't cry when you read magazines. Stop searching for perfection. It can really get you down. The perfect people are boring, and cake is fucking great. Life will all make mistakes. Enjoy the body that you're in, 'cause it's the only one you've got. Sometimes you'll feel very small and helpless, like nothing you do matters, but the smallest things still matter. Make your own choices, never stop doing things that really make you happy. When you stand up for yourself, you'll stand up for others. So keep waking up, you'll hate it, but when the whole world fails, you could be something people need if you're honest. Good luck, little Joe. Love bit bigger Joe.
Yes! Brilliant.
I've barely done what I had to do. I've got no other. Did anybody have questions? Does anybody have questions? Yeah, go on.
It's a bit of a random one, but it's been on my mind.
I can cope with that.
So, in your book, you write about having it's melon in your fridge. What type of melon is it?
Good, very, very good question. It's always like, is it gala? I've always called it gala melon. That's the choice. But to be honest, now I get it in the plastic packets, but it's always horrible. Especially now they've like because of Brexit, they've removed like the best buy dates. So even getting melon that looks nice tastes like piss. But yeah, thank you for your question. It's nice to get that. Listen, thank you so much for coming, everybody. I really do appreciate it, and thank you for giving a shit and for coming and for staying. It really does mean a lot to me. I hope you get home all right, and thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to stand alone over there in case you don't know that I'm here. Thank you very much.